Are you the mic holder?
I am the mic
So
holder.
good at this. Good job. Hey, well, I'll go ahead and start it out. Can you kind of elaborate for some of us that didn't hear your talks with Logan Booker on the morning show about George Pickens this morning and what you're kind of hearing?
Oh. What did I say this morning? God, it's been a long morning already. No, I know George is progressing along really, really well. He's I think he'll have a chance very much to contribute at some point down the road if he wants to do so. I definitely think you look at ACLs. Obviously, people are coming back sooner and sooner than you ever imagined. But now, giving you a little buffer of not getting through the season, I think gives you even more time to get more confident, more comfortable. And if you're on a team that's going for the natty, shoot, let's get some NIL deals and comeback man, and let's go. I mean, I think I don't think it's out of the realm of the possibility to get George Pickens before the season ends.
David, a couple weeks ago when we talked to you, talked about Stetson Bennett, how impressive you thought he'd been.
The mailman, baby.
Right, and now
he always delivers.
In these last 2 weeks, what have you really seen from him? Because now it seems like, if he continues to play well, it's not such a certainty that JT will start after that.
I've been on the Stetson train all year. I'm not going to jump off. I'm a big fan of his game. It kind of pisses me off because we act like only certain people are afforded the right to get better. Like, guess what? Stetson Bennett played a year ago. Yes, he got experience. He played against the number one team in the country last year, Alabama, who didn't trail anybody in the season except for Georgia and Stetson Bennett. Like, he's allowed to improve and progress and get better, and I've seen it. I think he's better, and I think with the team that's constructed, you know what everybody had? Everybody had at the beginning of the year. You, all y'all had Stetson Bennett to Lad McConkey as the number one team in the country. We all had that preseason, right? Like, he's the best guy for the job right now. His element of bringing his feet involved and helping the run game, which isn't great, it's not elite, but it's getting better with Darnell, and I think it gets better with Stetson at the quarterback spot. So I don't care about stars. I don't care 5-star, 4-star. I don't give a crap. Do you deliver? And the mailman delivers.
And if I can follow up on that quickly, do you think George is using him enough in the run game? I know it seemed like they were running read options, but it was handing it off, and then he finally gets that 30-yard.
Let me ask you a question. Do they need Stetson Bennett to run the football right now to win?
Probably not necessarily.
But the answer is no, because they haven't had to. They haven't needed to use him. So listen, now he's also not big. He's not a big guy. He's not built like a sturdy mule that's going to take a bunch of punishment and stay healthy probably for the extended period of time. So if you don't have to use it, wait till you need to use it. And when you need to use it, you can pull out that trump card. And I think people look at Stetson and McConkey and some of those guys, and they're like, oh, they're good little route runners or good little athletes. Like, you're talking about McConkey hitting 22 plus on the GPS, miles an hour. Okay, get in your car, drive 22 miles an hour, and see if you can run next to that. Like, Stetson Bennett hitting 21 miles an hour. Like, these aren't like okay athletes; they're really good athletes.
David, if Kentucky were to beat Georgia, how do they do it? What strength do they utilize?
I mean, they'd have to play lights out on defense. They'd have to stop the run. JJ and company would have to get after the quarterback. Like, I mean, which I think he can. But I think offensively, Will Levis would have to play his best game. He would have to be able to buy time, scramble, make decisions, and complete passes and be consistent in the passing game, which he hasn't done yet. Like, he's a big, strong kid, and I trust him as a runner, and I trust his intangibles like crazy. And I can promise you Penn State wishes they had him last week because they probably would have won the game. But, can he be that passer down the field? Can you throw on time, in rhythm, attack zone defense? Can he be that guy?
David, you're widely considered one of the best defensive linemen in Georgia history. Compare yourself back when you played to Jordan Davis right now.
We look a lot alike. I mean, we're both 6'7",
right.
We're both 350. I mean, just both great bodies. Like, obviously, a lot of sarcasm. I just saw Jordan at the facility over there, and I introduced him to a scout that was walking out. And I said, hey, this is Jordan Davis. And no, he doesn't have his pads on. He just has built-in shoulder pads. Like, I don't, God doesn't make many mountain of men like that. You're talking about 6'7", depending on what he had for breakfast, 350 to 360, and hit 20 miles an hour on the GPS. Just think about running the ball and that coming at you. Like, you think you're scared in some of your everyday life stuff, get you some of that in life. So I just think he's He's physical. He's developed even more as a pass rusher. To me, I would have him in the Heisman discussion. Like, the most dominant player I've seen in college football. You don't move him. He anchors the line. Nobody touches Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean's like, this is amazing. Like, we just run and go to the ball. Like, where's the blockers at? Like, so I think Jordan's, and he's a phenomenal kid. I mean, everything about him is awesome.
Do you think Kentucky gets enough respect or the respect they deserve in the SEC and the country?
Go beat Georgia. Go earn your respect. I mean, I think when you barely beat South Carolina and you barely beat Chattanooga, like, that doesn't give you a ton of respect. You survived, and then you beat Florida. Like, you put multiple weeks together. I think this is a team that could go win 10 games, 11 games on their schedule. Like, I think respect is earned. It's not given. Go get it. You want it? Go get it. Like, go beat great teams consistently. Go be in the mix. And Stoops has done a great job recruiting, developing, and supplementing with the transfer portal. He's done a great job of that. But Kentucky, this isn't basketball. They're not a national power in football yet. And if you want to be that, you got to go earn it.
We come a little earlier with the hat. You know, North Dakota's undefeated in the region. You know,
Titans, baby!
I mean, just
big win versus Flowery Branch. Drawing a bunch of offside penalties. Defense playing lights out, holding to 7 points. Coney Titans, baby.
I mean, how good? I mean, how far can they get this team?
I think they can win the region. We got Jefferson in a couple weeks, a big showdown. We're taking care of business. Defense is getting better. Max Wilson back at quarterback, now healthy. He did okay in one of his first starts when you go 18 of 18. I don't know if y'all are good at math, but 100%. That's pretty solid. So obviously it's a good start for the Titans. We're gonna keep getting better. We're gonna peak at the right time at the end of the season.
What's your role in that program? I know you work with some of the youth programs and some of the middle school, but what do you talk to the team? Are you talking with the players and coaches and stuff?
Yeah, I work with them. I work with them a little bit. I've coached the sophomore class down. I've coached those kids in youth league football, so I kind of grew up coaching those kids and helped those kids, continue. It's not because of me. I'm not saying it's because of me, but those kids were in my youth league organization, and so it's kind of cool to see them advance and get better. So was the, 9th grade, 8th grade class, and 7th grade class. This will be my last group of kids I've gone with, so I'm obviously a huge Titan fan and a bunch of those kids fans.
And then if I can ask one more, David. Is there any
can't.
Okay. Sorry. But from a player's perspective, is there any sort of nervous energy knowing that if you don't win this game, you don't even control your destiny in the East? Or is that something that they want to do?
If you think about that, you're probably thinking the wrong way. Listen, I'm not saying some people don't think with that kind of attitude, but that means you're doing that every week. So, I mean, I think as you get older and as you get into this situation, you start to think less and less about that. But I will say this, the more you go in the season, like from a Georgia standpoint, and you're undefeated, the more you start peeking down the road to that, can we win a natty? Like, you know what I'm saying? You start getting, a perfect example, Amari Cooper this week. Talked about, like, I've been in Dallas for several years, but we actually could win a Super Bowl. So I think the more you get down the road, the more you'll peek ahead sometimes and start thinking about that.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, dudes.
Thank you.
Go Titans.